small fire burns in a clay hearth in the corner of the workshop. Not large, but enough for warmth, enough for cooking, enough for life. This, he says, is our warmth, not just for us, but for the work. The feathers must be kept warm and dry. The glue must be kept warm to flow. The hands must be kept warm to work. Without the fire, the work would stop. The feathers would dampen. The glue would thicken. The hands would stiffen. He holds his hands to the fire. You see them, the hands that have placed thousands of feathers, the hands that have created beauty for decades. They are old hands, lined, stained, but alive, warm, ready. He turns from the fire. He goes to the wall, where tools hang. Look, he says. You look. There are many tools, each one for a different purpose, each one shaped by hands. For hands, tweezers of bone, delicate, precise, for picking up the smallest feathers, for placing them exactly. Knives of obsidian, sharp, black, for cutting feathers, for trimming, for shaping. Needles of bone, for sewing feathers onto cloth, for attaching them to frames, for making them permanent. Brushes of rabbit fur, for applying glue, for smoothing, for finishing. Spatulas of wood, for mixing glue, for spreading it, for controlling it. And the most precious tools, the ones for burnishing, smooth stones, worn by years of use, for pressing feathers into place, for making them lie flat, for making them shine. Amentekatl takes down one of these stones, holds it out to you. Feel it, he says. You take it. It is smooth, warm from being near the fire, worn by decades of his grip, by his teacher's grip before him, by his teacher's teacher before that. This stone, he says, has burnished more feathers than I can count, has made more beauty than I can remember, has been in this room longer than I have been alive. You hold it, you feel the weight, the smoothness, the years. You hand it back. He replaces it carefully, exactly where it was. He turns to you. Now he says, the animals. He leads you out of the workshop, through the courtyard, into the streets. You walk through the city, past houses and markets, past canals and gardens, out through the edge of the city, into the countryside. The path leads through fields, past maize and beans, past squash and chilies, past flowers and herbs. You come to a place where animals live. First the turkeys, large birds, strutting, gobbling, their feathers brown and bronze, iridescent in the sun. These, he says, give us feathers too, not for the finest work, but for backgrounds, for fill, for the parts that do not need the brightest colors. And their meat, for feast, for celebrations, for strength. You look at the turkeys. They are not beautiful like the quetzals, not bright like the macaws, but they have their own beauty, their own place, their own gift. You walk on, next the ducks, on a pond paddling, diving, their feathers green and brown. Waterproof, soft, these he says, give us down the softest feathers, for the warmest blankets, for the most delicate work. You watch them, they are peaceful, content, living their duck lives, giving their gifts. You walk on, next the dogs, not wild, but tame, living with people, guarding homes, hunting in the fields. These, he says, do not give feathers, but they give companionship, warmth, protection, and sometimes, in the old stories, their hair is used for the finest brushes, for applying the most delicate glue. You look at the dogs. One comes to you, wags its tail, licks your hand, then returns to its place in the sun. You walk on, next the rabbits, in hutches, their noses twitching, their fur soft. These, he says, give us fur for brushes, the softest brushes, for the most delicate work, and their meat, for food, for life. You watch them. They are gentle, timid, giving. You walk on, next the bees, in their hives, made of clay, with small holes for entering and leaving, the air around them humming, busy, alive. These, he says, give us honey, for sweetness, for food, for offerings, and wax, for many things, for sealing, for protecting, for the work. You stand and watch the bees. They fly in and out, each one with a purpose, each one part of the whole, each one giving. Amenteketl is silent for a long time. Then he speaks. We owe them all, he says. We owe them everything. The turkeys and ducks, the dogs and rabbits, the bees and all the animals. Without their giving, there would be no warmth, no food, no tools, no work, no feathers. We must never forget that the feather begins not with the bird alone, but with all the animals, all the givers, all the lives. He turns. You walk back. The sun is past midday. The light is warm. The walk is long, but you do not mind. You are full of seeing, full of understanding. You return to the workshop. Amenteketl goes to his bench. He takes up a feather, a small feather, green, from a quetzal perhaps. He holds it in his hands. He looks at it for a long time. This feather, he says, came from a bird that flew in the forest, that ate the fruits of the trees, that lived its life among the clouds, and it came to me through the hunter who climbed the tree, through the trader who brought it across the lake, through the young one who sorted it this morning. And now it will become part of something beautiful, part of a pattern, part of a prayer, part of something that will last. He sets the feather down. He takes up his tweezers. He begins to work. You watch him, and you see it all now. The food that feeds him, the fire that warms him, the tools that serve him, the animals that give, all present in his hands, all part of this moment, all part of this feather. all part of this work. The afterglow on passes, the light through the window shifts, the colors on the walls chain. Amenteketl works on, feather by feather, color by color, pattern by pattern. You watch and you think of all the giving, all the connections, all the lives that come together in this small room, in this small feather, in this small moment. When the light begins to fade, he stops. He sets down the tweezers. He looks at the work. It is good, he says. It grows, slowly, but it grows. He rises. He goes to the courtyard. You follow. The fountain falls. The water dances. The evening light is soft, golden, kind. He sits on the edge of the fountain. You sit beside him. The sound of water, the coolness of evening, the peace of day ending. After a long time, he speaks. You have seen today, he says. What sustains? What keeps us? What makes the work possible? The food, the warmth, the tools, the animals, all of it is gift. All of it is grace. All of it is part of the feather. Remember this. When you see a feather work, remember the farmer who grew the maize. Remember the woman who made the tortilla. Remember the fire that warmed the room. Remember the stone that burnished the feathers. Remember the turkey and the duck, the dog and the rabbit, the bee and all the givers. The feather work is not just feathers. It is the world, held together, made beautiful, given back as prayer. He falls silent, staring into the water. You stare too, feeling the truth of his words, feeling the weight of all that goes into a feather work, feeling grateful. After a long time, he rises. He goes inside. You stay a moment longer. The fountain, the first stars appearing, the peace of evening. Then you follow. The lamp is lit. The fire glows. The room is warm. You go to your mat. You lie down. The feather blanket covers you. It smells of the day, of the fields, of the animals, of the food, of the gratitude. Through the dim light, you see the tools on their rack, each one a hand that has gone before, each one memory, each one gift. You see the feathers on their shelves, each pile a giving, each color a place, each feather a life. You see the work on its frame, growing, patient, waiting. Nasralla's voice returns, soft as the fountain, gentle as the evening. You have seen what sustains, he says. You have understood the giving, the gift of animals, the warmth of fire, the work of tools, the food that feeds. Now rest, rest in the giving, rest in the warmth, rest in the sustenance. The turkeys sleep in their pens. The ducks sleep on the pond. The dogs sleep by the door. The rabbits sleep in their hutches. The bees sleep in their hive. The fire sleeps in its embers. The tools sleep on their rack. The food waits in the kitchen. And you sleep on your mat, held by all of it, part of all of it, grateful for all of it, Breathe in the smell of feathers. Breathe in the smell of fire. Breathe in the smell of gratitude. Breathe out the day. Breathe out the seeing. Breathe out the understanding. And sleep. Tomorrow there will be more. More seeing. More learning. More becoming. But tonight there is only this. Only sleep. Only rest. Only the deep peace of the feather worker's house. With the maker. With the colors. With the gifts. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep. Nasrallah watches over you. His voice, the last thing you hear. Before sleep takes you. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep asterisk asterisk. Chapter V asterisk. Night falling / stars emerging. Close your eyes now. Let the day slip away like a feather caught in the evening breeze. Nasrallah is here, his voice soft as the fading light on the great lake, gentle as the first star appearing over the temple pyramid. He has carried you through the food and warmth, through the tools and animals, and now into the falling of night, the emerging of stars, the deep peace of darkness. You wake to dimness, not the dimness of dawn, but the dimness of evening. The light through the small window is soft, gray, fading. You have slept through the afternoon. You realize, slept on your mat, wrapped in the feather blanket, while Amentekatl worked. You lie still, listening. The workshop is quiet. No sound of tweezers. No rustle of feathers. No movement. You rise. You go to the workroom. Amentekatl is not at his bench. The tools are on their rack. The feathers are on their shelves. The fire glows low in the hearth, but no one tends it. You go to the courtyard. He is there, sitting by the fountain, looking up, his face tilted to the sky. You sit beside him. You look up too. The sky is changing. The sun has set, but its light lingers, a band of orange along the horizon. Above it, deep blue. Above that, the first darkness. And in that darkness, one star, just one, small and bright, alone in the vastness. You watch it. It seems to pulse, just slightly, as if breathing, as if alive, as if watching over the night's beginning. Amentekatl speaks, his voice quiet, respectful of the night. The first star, he says, the one that appears before all others, the one that guides the fishermen home, the one that watches over the feather workers. In the old stories, this star is called the feather because it is small and bright, like a single feather floating in the great darkness of the sky. You sit in silence, watching. More stars appear. First a few, then dozens, then hundreds, until the sky is full. They are brighter here than in the city, away from the fires, away from the torches. The darkness is deeper. The stars are clearer. Amentekatl rises. He goes to a corner of the courtyard. He returns with 2 mats. He places them on the ground. He lies back on one, gesturing for you to do the same. You lie back, the mat soft beneath you, the stars above you, the the sound of the fountain beside you, the night around you. This, he says, is the best way to see them. Lying down, open, receiving. You look up, and the stars seem closer now, or you seem farther away, floating up into them, falling into them, becoming part of them. He speaks, his voice slow, thoughtful, like water moving over stones. My teacher taught me the stars, he says. He taught me the ones that mark the seasons, the ones that tell when the birds migrate, when the quetzals come down from the mountains, when the macaws fly north. He taught me the stories in the stars, the stories of the gods, the stories of the ancestors, the stories of the feathers. He points up, his finger tracing shapes. That group there, see how they form a bird, a great bird, with wings spread, with tail feathers streaming. You look, and you see it, or think you see it, a bird made of stars, flying across the sky. That, he says, is the quetzal, the great bird of the heavens. Its feathers are the stars themselves. Its wings are the Milky Way. Its tail stretches across the night. You watch the bird of stars. It seems to move, slowly, as the night turns, as the sky wheels. He points to another group, and there, see those 3 stars in a line, with 2 beside them. That is the hunter, the one who climbs the trees, who takes the feathers, who brings them to us. You see them, 3 stars in a line, 2 beside them, the shape of a man, climbing, reaching, taking, and there, see that bright one, alone, surrounded by darkness. That is the feather, the one we first saw, the one that guides all feather workers. It is said that when a feather worker dies, his spirit becomes a feather and floats up to join that star, so that he may watch over those who come after. You look at the star, the feather, small and bright, alone, watching. You think of all the feather workers who have gone before, all the makers who have placed feathers, all the hands that have created beauty, now watching from that star, watching over Amenteketl, watching over the young apprentices, watching over you. A shooting star crosses, quick line of light, gone before you can speak. A feather, he says, a feather falling from the sky, someone's prayer, someone's hope, someone's love. You think of all the prayers, all the feathers, all the beauty, rising and falling, like shooting stars, brief, bright, then gone, but seen, but remembered, but part of something. The night deepens, the stars, grow brighter, or perhaps your eyes grow darker, more able to receive them. You lie on your mat, the stars above you, the fountain beside you, the peace around you. Amenteketl speaks again, his voice soft as starlight. When I was young, he says, I feared the night, feared the darkness, feared what I could not see. But my teacher brought me here, to this courtyard, to this fountain, to these stars, and taught me that the night is not empty, It is full, full of light, full of watchers, full of stories, full of feathers. Now I love the night, love the quiet, love the stars, love the feeling of being small under something so vast, so beautiful, so full of stories. You understand. You feel it too. The peace of being small, the comfort of being held by something so much larger than yourself, so much more ancient, so much more eternal. The stars turn, slowly, imperceptibly, but you can feel it, the turning of the sky, the great wheel of night, the dance of the stars. You think of all the nights, all the stars, all the feather workers who have lain in this courtyard, looking up, feeling this same peace, seeing these same stars, telling these same stories. Generations of makers, generations of storytellers, generations of those who saw the stars and tried to capture their beauty in feathers. A night bird calls, soft, distant, then silence. The fountain falls, the water dances, the stars turn. After a long time, Amontekatl speaks again. The stars, he says, are the first feather work, the original beauty, the model for everything we make. When we place a green feather next to a blue one, we are copying the stars. When we make a pattern that repeats, we are copying the sky. When we create something beautiful, we are copying the heavens. Our feather works are just small pieces of the night sky, brought down to earth, made with feathers, given to the lords and priests, so that they may see, even in the day, even in the light, the beauty of the stars. He falls silent, staring up. You stare too, feeling the truth of his words, feeling the connection between the stars above and the feathers in the workshop, between heaven and earth, between eternity and now. The night deepens, the stars grow brighter, the fountain sings its quiet song. After a long time, Amontekatl rises, slowly, his old body moving carefully. Come, he says, the stars will be here tomorrow. They have always been here. They will always be here. You rise. You stand beside him. You look up one last time. The stars are countless. The sky is full, more beautiful than you can say. The quetzal still flies. The hunter still climbs. The feather still watches. You turn. You walk back through the courtyard, past the fountain, into the workshop. The room is warm. The fire glows low. The lamp burns in its clay bowl, its flame small and steady, a small star in the darkness of the room. You go to your mat. You lie down. The feather blanket covers you. It smells of the night, of the fountain, of the stars. Amontekatl sits on his stool, not working, just sitting, looking at the lamp, or through it, at something else, at the stars, at the stories, at the feathers. You lie still, your eyes open, looking at the lamp, its flame a small star, reflecting the great stars outside. Through the small window, you can see a corner of the sky, a few